This time I'm going to introduce about one sample example of our neural network, very simple one. So let's go back to the very first day we were talking about why deep learning neural network was very good, because why they got the highlight spotlight nowadays, because they were showing very good accuracy when they classify pictures. It was an amazing thing. So we are going to think about how can we use a neural network for classification. One simple example is here. You can see that there is a table. There are two fruits. If you look at the fruit one, when you compare to fruit two, it is a little bit smaller, but it is longer. So let's nickname this one as banana. Why not? Then second fruit is weight more, but this is length is smaller, so more round shape I can say. Let's just say this is apple. So there are two types of fruit, but computer does not know which one is banana, which one is apple. So by just using the data, it will classify when it has a new fruit, it's a banana or apple. Now let's see. So we can think about the graph first. So what we are supposed to find is this classification line. If we have just this data, it is enough to have a linear regression to figure out which one should go to the banana, then which one should go to the apple. So looks like the top one is a banana because the length is bigger, but weight is smaller. So this part is a banana. Oops. Then this part two, you can think about, this is apple. Oh, we can think about if it's linear regression, one perceptron is enough to figure out the model. So with the given bias, this one is a bias. So when you input the bias to the perceptron, you can think about input fixed as 1, then first weight will be bias, that is bias value. So 1 times 50 will be 50. Then there are two inputs. Then there is a weight value. So this one is a first weight and second weight. Actually deciding weights and bias correctly, that is most important, and that was the reason why deep learning is nowadays so popular, because people figured out how to find the correct initial weights and bias. Then after they got these two values, then what they do summation, but dot product summation. So you're gonna have x0, x1, x2. So all the inputs, dot product with the all the weights, 50, negative 30, then 300. Then the result of this dot product will goes to the activation function as an input. This case, we can just have two results. So you can think about the step function as activation function. When it's more real data, then more complicated, we are gonna use a sigmoid function, like logistic. If you calculate, finally, you're gonna get the linear regression. That's enough to classify banana and apple. So now, if you found the model, you can test it if it's correct or not. So there is one input, weight is 140, length is 17.9. So it's asking by using this model you just built, is it banana or apple? Then when you train it, this one, we call it like a board feeding. After you get the result, you got, this is a class 1. So it turned out 140 weight and length is 17.9 is a banana.